Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina and it is a beautiful day to be creating with you in the house with the air conditioning. We are in the middle of a heat wave and it is brutal. So today I have a lot of reward scrapbooking to do. I'm putting my layouts together for all different random kinds of things, but one of the sets that is up first is this photo play collection, and this is with Anchors Away. The collection is fabulous. My husband and I discovered cruising a little less than 2 years ago, and we have really been enjoying it. But this is the first cruise we ever went on that I'm going to be documenting on these pages today, and it was a cruise to the Bahamas. It just went right down the coast. I live on the East Coast, and it went right down the coast. We thought that would be like a little safer before we decided to go a little further out. It was a very quick trip. I was exhausted. I was not in my best vacation mind. I felt like we were running away. So I don't have a ton of photos, but this made me really happy to work with. Okay, so here's the collection, and with the photo play paper, you get two of all of your papers, and they're all two-sided, and I really like that. But there's like 12 sheets of paper. You get the pocket cards are included in the paper, and I love that because it increases the value of the paper packs. You get a whole 12 by 12 sticker sheet, and let's dive in. I did a little bit of pre-work because I'm a slow crafter and I don't think you guys want to spend 6 hours watching me. No, I won't spend 6 hours. All right. A couple of other things I'm working with. I went ahead and I grabbed the Anchors Away cardstock. I am trying all different kinds of cardstock right now, and this was a great way to get my matching colors and to also try out their cardstock. They have canvas or textured cardstock, and then they have their classic, which is a smooth. All their cardstock is really nice and really thick. So that was great. I also grabbed some ephemera because I love ephemera. So I grabbed that as well. And then I'm a bling girl. So, and I'm trying to use up things from my stash. I grabbed these from Echo Park. I have a lot of Echo Park bling now. I went crazy when I found the enamel dots because they're my favorite. And I basically just kind of did one of these. Let me grab this and show you. The blue looks good, the white looks good, the green looks good. The yellow's a little darker, but I can make it work. And then I will throw that in with some other colors. I constantly move my bling around, but because I'm going to do at least 6 pages with this, I knew I was going to need a little bit of bling. This is just some pre-work I did. I grabbed a couple of twines out of my stash. I'm using up something from my stash with all my projects. These are some stickers and some little things that I pulled out to prep for the video. And then I grabbed these shells, as well as I have this old pack of bling that had these light little peachy, melony kind of shrimpy colors. And I thought maybe I could use those. All right, so always looking for stuff out of my bling or out of my stash to incorporate, and that bling's gonna go. All right, I gutted, removing the, this is a 1-inch gut, which means I have 1 inch all the way around, and I took out to the center 10 inches. This is one of the colors that came with the paper, and as soon as I saw it, I went, oh, that's not going to be my jam. We all know the color palettes that we're comfortable working with. So what I was able to do is cut that down to an 11 by 11, both pages. I said, okay, I can have a little bit peeking out here. I'll maybe save this for some paper tucking or something else that I might do. And I put that down because I kind of know myself, right? And then on top of that, so this here, the paper was cut to an 11 by 11 square. And then the one on the inside is cut to a 10.5 by 10.5 inch square. And that gave me the 1/4 of an inch all the way around. All right, so I went ahead and I just attached those together, and I'll go ahead and get them down on this 2-page layout. I'm gonna try to stay super close to my edge, the inside edge. And I've been gutting my papers a lot more. I do think that I'm trying to look for ways to be more economical in my crafting. Almost forgot. I want to make sure here that my paper's lined up the same way. So this kind of looks like a multi-paper with all of the stamps and everything that goes different ways. But one of the things I realized, and I laid it out this way so I would tell, is that the lines here, like they almost look like postage stamps kind of, but they're like little waves. So I want to make sure that the waves are doing the same direction. All right, I'm gonna put this on here. There we go. I'll do the same thing to this one here. I feel like this one here was a little over, but that's okay. I think that like crafting has become, you know, there's so many things, but with the rising costs, like everything else, we're having to make more choices. So what I'm really trying to do is get the best value that I can out of my craft supplies, and enjoy my process. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm just rubbing all the way around, just kind of to see if I have any adhesive, since I went with my tape runner and not liquid adhesive. Okay, so my pages are all set. I do sometimes like to turn them over and double check them for adhesive. And then one of the things that I will do, and some of you have seen me do this a bunch of times, is I will grab my washi tape. I never use washi tape for crafting anymore, and there's so many selections. I feel like I need to try it again. All right, and if I feel adhesive anywhere, I will always put it there, but this just kind of reassures me that it's not going anywhere. All right. I wonder, does anybody use let me know if you guys are using washi tape and what's your favorite way to use it. I use it for stuff like this, or when I'm doing stencils and stuff. I will use it more like a tool, and then I do like to decorate my envelopes with it, but that's kind of all I do. But yeah, let me know if you guys really like your washi tape. Okay, here we go. I'm going to flip these around. Oh, see, there's a little bit of adhesive somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Okay. All right, I know one thing, it's somewhere. I'm going to flip this way, and we'll go ahead and get started on this. All right, so for this, now I've created these framed 12 by 12s now. They're just layered. They add a little bit more. But what I'm really bringing in here are 3-inch side borders. And when my 3-inch side borders come in, you can always create a template for your borders with just using a piece of paper and laying it down to kind of put your scrapbook together. Like before you've created your borders, you can always kind of just lay down a 3-inch piece and then work around them. I'm going to take my borders both to the outer side, mirror image them. So mirror image is just like that. Like if you held it up to each other, it's what they're like across from each other. Okay, so now for this, what I did was the paper. This was a labor of love. I don't suggest this because this is a quick layout. I'm letting some things shine. The paper pack came with this hexagon paper, and the CW White crafting group, we're currently working with hexagons. So I thought that this would be great, but I of course have to complicate it. Ha ha ha. I took a 5-inch piece of paper. I cut all my hexagons out, and I trimmed, there's about like 1/4 of an inch in between each one. I took that down so much smaller, and then I matted them on a piece of this textured, it's really pretty, look at this. And it's textured. I don't know if the camera can pick up the texture, but the texture is really nice. Because I liked that color. And then what I did was I only used a little bit of adhesive as I was putting it together. I put them on foam tape. I will tell you this, where you cut it, it really does matter. And see these tiny, tiny little pieces? I had to glue all of those on using liquid adhesive and my tweezers, but I did it. So if you want to save yourself the time and you might decide to recreate this, and I'll put all the information down in the links. If you're okay with the spacing just the way it is, just cut this paper. It'll save you a ton of time. All right, so now I have 3 inches here, and I have 2.5 inches here and 2.5 inches here. I pulled this yellow out of my stock. It is, I have close to my heart paper left over, and this is a lot of it. And this is close to my heart honey butter. One of the collections had, or one of the papers had this color, this pattern paper here. And I have already gutted this for another layout, so I took this out of the inside just in case, and all my guts were 1 inch guts. I have a few pictures that I've chosen. We did not take a lot of pictures, and the pictures we took were not like, yay, awesome. We really wanted to go on this cruise and just decompress and not really do anything. We took almost no pictures for like the first several days. Since then, we have fallen in love with cruising, and we're having a great time. We've been on 4 cruises actually in less than 2 years. But my story is going to be about this picture right here. So we zoomed in with our camera. One of the things we like about our camera is that we can use the lens almost like binoculars. And this is like an abandoned house. And my running joke was, this might be a place we could afford down here. But we got a balcony cabin, and these are views when we were pulling into the Bahamas port. These were all views from our balcony that George had taken, and with a picture of me smiling, super happy and relaxed. So I thought I would go ahead and use that and then document our possible future home in the Bahamas, which was, we joked about it a lot. It needed so much work. All right, I'm going to kind of focus on my white here. I want to be able to see the white. Let me just get this in my grid. Not a straight girl. Okay. I want to make sure I see all the layers coming in there. There we go. I'm going to do the same on this side over here. And this yellow was a little lighter than the yellow in this kit. And what I liked about it though is it really made everything, all the other yellows kind of pop and stand out. So there we go. And I'm about 1 inch in from the side. From each side. Okay, and then these awesome hexagons. I really love the way it turned out. So what I did was I left them out, and I leave a layout out while I'm organizing or doing anything in my craft room, and I came over and I started cutting off some of the hexagons and trimming them out and throwing them in a pile. And then I came back and then I added some hexagons, and then I would go organize or clean something else up. And that's how I got through it. All right. I'm just going to run a couple rows of adhesive down the center of this. I do have 1/4 inch on each side. And then I don't want to have lift on the edges. So I'll add a little bit more here, here, and here. And then it's, like I said, 1/4 inch on each side there. But I love to work with just kind of something that's very basic, which is these 3-inch side borders. And that's kind of where I wanted to come in and create this with. There we go. Look at all the layering. Just really, I love all that layering. Okay, I want to keep this very simple from here. One of the reasons why I'm jazzing up my layouts a little bit is because I'm not loving all of my photos. So jazzing up the layouts a little bit and keeping my photos and everything else a little more on the simpler side. This was included as well. This is the Winter Lake. It's beautiful textured paper. And then this piece here is, as I mentioned, one of the, it's like a sunburst piece that was in the kit. I'm going to be highlighting this one picture of me because we were just laughing. George was taking the pictures, and we were looking and laughing, and I'm going to document our possible new home. So I thought bringing in this kind of burst with the yellow would be really nice. And these are all 4x6 photos that I am matting on 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And I could have kept them, you know, one piece, especially for this other side here. I could have just cut one big mat, but because the left mat is, or the left page is in 2 with the 2 different color mats, I just thought it looked a little better. There we go. So this is our future home in the Bahamas. So I'm going to put that one down bottom so that I can journal underneath of that. There we go. Just really beautiful views though. And here we go. There's even a little cruise ship in the back, and we made a joke about that. Like, oh, look, our next cruise would be there to pick us up. And all right, I'm going to be putting these over here and not showing all the layers so that you see more layers over here. And I can't say that I love the picture myself, but I am happy. But the one thing that I have going for me is I am smiling, so that was a good day. Okay, I'm gonna push them, not to make them even down here. I'm gonna push this up, and I chose this one here because I'm gonna have this little banner. I'm only gonna use a few stickers, and I wanted to have an open place where I could put this little banner that came on the sticker sheet in it. And then I'm going to create a little something right down here in the corner. So let me get you a measurement. I'm going to say it's about a 1/2 inch, give or take here. A little less than a 1/2 inch I am from the white, only measuring from the white. Just 4 simple photos. I have found that I'm trying to decrease the amount of photos that I am putting in my projects, on my projects. See if I went too low there. That is a little lower than I wanted to be, so I think I'm closer to 3/8 right now, but I'm just going to move it down a little bit. That's a heavy 1/2 inch, but I'm definitely closer to a 1/2 inch. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing that I do a lot. I'm just going to slide this over and put it up against this one. And then kind of eyeball my photo. Because sometimes, you know, I don't put everything where it goes. So this has always been a double check tip for me. There we go. Putting the rest of my photos down. I am finding that I order way too many photos, and then I feel like I have to add all these interactive elements or multiple pages, and it can be a lot and it can be overwhelming. I'm really working on simplifying my scrapbooking process and getting back to remembering that not only do I love scrapbooking, but the point of the journey is to kind of tell my story and have these memories to share later on in my life so I can revisit them, but that I can also share them with others. Okay, so there we go. The whole guts of my layout is done. I will be able to add some journaling right down here about my future home. That, by the way, this is my husband retiring and then working full time on this house. It needs everything, but it's huge. The house was absolutely huge, and I just thought, what has happened? All right, I have a few things here. I had this one that said sun deck, and we do have a sun deck, like kind of. It's not the sun deck on the ship, but I was like, okay. But let's go ahead and put this one on first. So I may or may not use that one. I really only want my banner to be on the white and not above it. So I'm just going to line it up and kind of tip it until it hits the other side. And then I'm just going to run my finger across, and there we go. Little banner piece. Super easy. We do not need to complicate anything. There was a little anchor here, and we were pulling into port, so I thought this would be nice. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on a little bit of foam tape as well. Let's see what I have. All kinds of foam tape. Okay. It's white on white. I'll just grab some of these little dots that I have and put them on this anchor. I do tend to use too much foam tape. I have giant rolls of foam tape. I have 80 bits of foam tape. I love all the foam tape. There we go. Okay, so this will go right here. I found this on the sticker sheet. It says a room with a view. And I thought that was perfect. So I just stuck it on some of the same yellow and just fussy trimmed it out. There you go. It fits perfectly right there. I love that. Little tiny sticker that just says on cruise time. I think I'm going to put down here with this little guy. And then I just have to decide if I wanted to use this sun deck. I think I'm going to pass on it. I kind of like it because I'm a label kind of girl, but I think I like it just like that. So I'll put this in my little case and save that for later. I also saved all my hexagon pieces, so I have those. Okay. I have a little bit of twine over here from my stash. I think I'll use that. And I think this and this with some seashells are going to be the perfect amount. I did find this porthole, which is kind of like for a view, but I'm looking at it now and I don't want to take anything else away from what I have. So that's going to be it. All right. Let me grab a glue dot here. Okay. And I'm just going to take some of this twine and add it to the dot, give it a little loop, another little loop. I always do 3. There we go. Oops, I don't think I got that last one on there. Okay, and now I'm going to pick off another glue dot and put it on top of this one. And we'll trim this up really nice and short so that it cannot stick out. I'm not short enough, but you know what? Let's go in this way. There we go. All right, and I want this to be behind the anchor. So I just lifted up where I knew I was going to put the anchor. Since my anchor is so narrow, I need to make sure that I cut the little end off. Here we go. Perfect. And the little on cruise time, I kind of like it flat like that. There we go. I'm going to grab a few of these shells. You could have done a splattered background with this, you know, you kind of do whatever. I have too many of these shells, so I need to use all my shells up. I'm just going right down here, and I think I'm going to do the 2 top ones on this. I'm just kind of tuck a shell right here. I want it to kind of be a little under the anchor, and then I'm gonna take a white one on the top, and you may have some of these. And I'm gonna have 2 little shells right there. I'll add a dot, and that's gonna make a really great little cluster area. All right, so I'm gonna first start with these. These keep moving around. I'm really trying to use them up. I like my hearts to be very symmetrical, and so I've struggled with using the hearts, but these are great colors. I can find if I move them around, I will move my bling around, I'm more likely to use it up. So it is definitely something that I'm working on, just kind of taking my bling and moving it. All right, we'll get some of these dots out here as well. I love that they do 2 large, 4 medium, and 6 small in the Echo Park dots. I think that's the right breakdown of how dots should be, because that's how I use them. All right, I have a little, it's a star, but it's gonna look like kind of like a starfish. All right, so I'll put that there. I'm looking and nope, I think it's just my paper. I was like, I might have gotten that crooked. All right, I'm going to take another star. I'm going to put it up here. And I really am trying to use up the little 4 pieces that I have. The room with the view is going to get the heart. And then I have just one more dot that can, you know, kind of just go wherever. I think I'm only going to put one more dot there. So I'm going to put it... we're gonna put it, I'm really just kind of burning it at this point, which means for me just using it up. You know what, I like the idea of I'm gonna put it here, kind of on the picture. I like the idea of putting a darker dot here and here now, and I think I'm gonna upgrade that to a medium. I'm gonna dive into this dark blue, kind of like their tacks holding that banner up. I like that. I let it cross both of the colors. Yes, that's super cute. So I'll still need one more piece of bling up here, and I might not force myself to use this little dot. I'm going to put it down here, but I'm not going to press. All right, I have the blue up here. I'm going to grab the green in a large. Okay, and then I'm going to grab the yellow in a small. And there we go. That's going to be great. And then for this side over here, I know I have the 2 and I'm not loving it. It is what it is. I usually like to do my bling in sets of 3s, always odd numbers though. I think I'm going to put this back and not push. And over here now, it'll make it a lot easier for me to bring in this green one on the other side here, and then a white one, a small white one, I think way down here. There we go. That's going to do it for me. Okay, so now my layout is done. So this was a super simple one. With this over here, it'll be balanced really well. I'm going to type my journaling. And when I type that journaling, it'll give me enough room to fit several. I use about 3/8 of an inch high. It'll give me plenty to do that. And then I can even add a little bit right here if I would like to. Maybe just this here is my cruise and the date we went on the cruise, and then kind of the little story about our potential future home. All right, here you go. So we have all the dimension. This was a fun border to work on. And like I said, I just left it out and kind of worked on it while I was doing other things. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to kind of have a craft project out and just work on it. I really like the way this came out. I think this worked out really well. A couple of alternatives that you could use if you don't have these little shells, you could just do some shells on the Cricut. You could use a thin cut that you have, you know, into this. And I always just pull in whatever bling seems to match my items that I'm working with, the color palette that I'm working with. Thank you guys so much for sharing this time with me. If you found this project to be fun or useful, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. It helps me out tremendously here in the YouTube community. And I am so grateful and blessed that I'm able to share my creative journey with all of you guys. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.